I got a great special guest with you here. His music in the background, as you can hear, Christopher Wyze and The Tellers. I tell you what, they took the blues by storm with the song Stuck in the Mud, their 13-track debut album of all original music. I talk about all original music. What a jolt this turned out to be. They're streaming in 90 countries. I can't even pronounce 90 countries. Thousands of radio spins, 1,233 plus hours of YouTube views. Their music, Stuck in the Mud, is gone crazy. So it's one to watch. I tell you what, by the International Songwriter Association, these are the guys we want to watch, especially Christopher Wyze. And we're going to bring him on and get me off of here a little bit, but we can kind of hear him a little and see him a little. There we go. Let me pop him in here. I tell you what, I put him backstage back there, and he's got him. There he is. There he is. Christopher, how are you doing?
Jerry, I'm great. I'm going to have you follow me around and introduce me wherever I go. You're really good at
that. Well, you're easy to introduce. I mean, all the places, 90 countries. To me, that it just blows my mind because I'm thinking, now, are they going to translate this like in Japanese or China? Are they going?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not only the words; they have to change this stuff around, I imagine. But man, congratulations! And now you live in Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Well, people think that, but I don't. I live in central Indiana. I live in Indianapolis. I grew up in southern Indiana and almost into Kentucky. But I really got taken away by the blues some 15 years ago and started to travel to Clarksdale and met friends and musicians there and started to make music there. So for me, there's even a club there called Ground Zero Blues Club. Many people from around the world know, but for me, Clarksdale's ground zero for my music. I mean, it emanates from there, and the feelings and the whole story of the blues. You mentioned people around the world. I don't think they do translate our music, the blues. It's such an international language that in the U.S., certainly we know the blues, but outside the U.S., I mean, Jerry, the blues are big. And people come from all over the world to Clarksdale, Mississippi, to hear the blues. So it's just an amazing thing.
Well, I got some pictures of around Clarksville and where you play up there, the Juke Joint Chapel. Now,
you bet.
I had to look at that. That's when they close the church down and have the blues.
Church, we have a few adult beverages there too. So,
yeah, for only for communion purposes, correct?
Absolutely, several times.
Now, how did you get started in your music? I know playing the harmonica when I was little. I know I'd had a little harmonica and kind of blew noise out of it, and even had a juice harp until I lost some teeth. And but how did you come into your journey in music? I know a lot of artists say from church, from this right here.
Yeah.
Did you have family that was musically inclined?
Well, my mother would play records all the time when I'm a kid, right? And she was into Broadway musicals, Jerry. And we've got the Music Man going, and we've got Camelot, and we've got, the Man of La Mancha and all this stuff. And as a little kid, I'm listening to it. But I think what got me going is, those songs tell stories. They move the story along, right? So
Right.
It must have seeped into my kind of being that you can use songs to tell stories. But then I sang as a kid, in grade school and high school. I noticed you had Richard Staban on your show. And
Oh, yes.
he's such a great bass singer. So I started singing in choirs then in high school. We had a tremendous music department. I sang as a freshman. I was a first tenor. Sophomore, I was a second tenor. Junior, I'm a baritone. And by senior year, I'm a bass. And so I kind of was able to run through the treble clef all the way into the bass clef and kind of learn how music worked just as a singer. And that was a great experience. We had a very accomplished music department. We won medals. We would travel and sing. So it was great. But then, of course, you get busy with life. You get involved in stuff. I actually spent my career as a writer mostly. I'm an advertising guy. I've written books. I got 5 books that I've written. And so I spent decades really being an advertising guy and owning an advertising agency. That's what I did. And then about 20 years ago, I got hooked up with a guy and I sang with him a little bit. He said, "Hey, would you be the front man in our band?" And I joined a cover band. We sang rock and roll, we sang the blues. And that led me to Clarksdale, Mississippi, because I started playing the harmonica in our cover band, our blues cover band. And I thought, I want to get a little better. So there is a, believe it or not, music workshop, week-long camp. You can go to Clarksdale, Mississippi and work on your harmonica, even learn the harmonica. And that's where I went about 15 years ago. And I met who would eventually be my co-writer and producer on that album behind me, Stuck in the Mud, and also, there we go, Live in Clarksdale, my 2 albums that are out, by a gentleman by the name of Ralph Carter, who was a rock and roll kind of, he was in the big time. He played music and toured and wrote songs with Eddie Money.
Wow.
Did that for a number of years. And I met Ralph. He was one of the instructors. He teaches guitar, bass, works in harmonica camps, teaches songwriting. And I met him there about 15 years ago. And some people go to these camps. It's kind of like baseball fantasy camp. You know, you go and you're not really able to play Major League Baseball. But so a few people will go to these camps. They'll buy a harmonica on the way to the camp. But I'd been in a band for some years, and I was already playing the harmonica. I went there to meet some blues people and learn it. And really, at that first camp I went to, Ralph kind of said, "Hey, man, you know, you're good at this. You can do this." So he and I struck up quite a friendship. I think a subsequent camp I went to, he said, "Hey, you know, we're going to do a record together someday." I'm like, "Man, I'd love to be on your record. That'd be awesome, Ralph." And he said, "No, we're gonna do your record." I said, "What do you mean my record? Your songs?" I said, "I don't have any songs." He goes, "Well, that's a problem. You need to start writing songs." He really did say that, and I really did do that. And about 4 years ago, I read an article in the Wall Street Journal. I mean, I've been a business guy. I'm reading the Wall Street Journal about this recording studio, a new one in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And it's a place where you go, you stay for the week, you live there. The musicians do, they feed you, and you make music. And I, just as a joke, I snapped a picture of it with my little old iPhone right here, and I sent it over to Ralph. I said, "Hey, Ralph, here's where we're going to do our record." And I was just kidding. And Ralph texted back and said, "All right, when do we record?" And I mean, I picked up the phone the next day and said, "Ralph, what are you talking about?" He goes, "What are we waiting for?" When you can see, I'm not a spring chicken. Ralph's about my age. And he said, "We're going to do it." And about a month later, we had booked the recording time. We set a time for he and I to meet in Clarksdale. I said, "I'm going to write songs. I will bring my lyrics with you. I'm a writer. I know how to write. You give me a deadline, you give me something to write, I know how to write it. I can write a 50,000 word book and probably get it done in 6 months." So for
wow.
15 songs, and I got 3 months to do it. Of course, I waited till the last minute, but
Well, don't we all kind of like procrastinate a little bit?
yeah.
I can do
But I
this.
showed up in Clarksdale to meet Ralph. We spent 3 days in Clarksdale, right there at the Shack Up Inn where the Juke Joint Chapel is, where we eventually recorded our second album. And we sat at the picnic table, and he had a guitar, and I had my pile of lyrics. And Ralph would say, "Tell me about this song." So, well, this is about a guy who does, you know, and I'd tell the story. And then he'd say, "Read me the lyrics." And I would read them, and he could hear in the way I explained my stories, the music. I don't know how. He would get a faraway look in his mind and head, and he'd start playing the guitar. He goes, "What's that sound like?" And I'm like, "Wow, that's cool." And I could start singing a few words. And before you knew it, 3 days later, we had 15 songs recorded on our iPhone. Our guitar player who joined us in Muscle Shoals came the last day. His name's Eric Deaton. He's played with the Black Keys and Hank Williams Jr. and Tony Joe White. He's a monster talent. And we walked through some of the songs. And then, you know, about 12 weeks later, we met in Muscle Shoals.
Now, in playing the harmonica, I know, you know, people in all these other instruments. Do you play any other instruments?
I don't. No, I don't. I sing and I play the harmonica.
Yeah. Now, the harmonica, do you have notes that you read, or does that just comes from the soul?
It comes from the soul. You know, it's a chordal instrument, and the blues is based around, and rock and roll, around, generally speaking, three chords. So I got the pattern and understood it. And I think if you knew music, and I sang music for many years, and, I could read and sing along, a bass line, for instance, not great maybe, but I kind of get the pattern of music. So I tell you, I think I took a little harmonica class at a little community college here in Indianapolis. It was like 4 weeks. And after 4 weeks, I was up on stage playing a harmonica in the band. Now, was I any good? I don't know. Did I hit wrong notes? No, I wasn't in the wrong key. I got the basics of it, and then I got better in Clarksdale and learned from there. But no, I don't read music. I hear it. I understand what we're trying to do, and I'm trying to tell a story with the harmonica, just like the words and the singing.
Well, I know I have a first cousin here that he goes all around the place. He's been doing it for years and years. Now he plays nothing but the harmonicas, and he's his name's Freddie Banford, and he just loves what he learned from. I think his name was Peg Leg Sam. That he learned how to play the harmonica and really got into the blues himself. Now you've had some, I mean, #1 hits in Mexico. #2 in Ukraine, Germany, #5, #7 in the U.S., 11 in Switzerland, 28. I mean, all over you look at it and you're charting up with your music. Now, I've got to ask this. I always ask when the band has a name, the Tellers. How did you come up with the Tellers?
Well, I told you I try to tell stories with the lyrics that I write and with the songs that we put out there for folks to listen to. So really, that's what it is. We're storytellers, and I chopped off the story. So it's Christopher Wyze and The Tellers. So, listen to our music, and you'll listen to us tell you some stories. So that's where it came from.
Well, I was trying to figure that out. I says, did he work at a bank?
It'd be nice, but yeah, no, it's really just for me, that's what the kind of music we make is. It's storytelling.
Now, when you produced, I guess, the live in Clarksville, that was what, 13 of your original songs that you.
Yeah, we actually did 8 of my original songs that were on the Stuck in the Mud album. So that came out, by the way, in July, almost a year ago. It's been a whirlwind. But my first album, my debut album, came out a little less, about in a week. It'll be a year. So it came out, and then I thought, my goodness, this thing's taken off. We got to do something else. So I said, well, let's do another album. And I'm like, oh gosh, I don't have songs ready to go. I said, you know what? Let's do a live album. So I called Ralph. I said, Ralph, I got a crazy idea. Let's go to Clarksdale. I'll meet you down there. We'll put a band together because our band didn't exist. We got together as a studio project. I mean, these guys are studio guys. They're in Muscle Shoals. I brought my bass player from Indianapolis. We brought another Eric Deaton guitar from Mississippi. And so when we went to Clarksdale to do the live album, we had a couple of new guys. They had Douglas Banks from Memphis on drums. He's from the UK. And then we had Kerry Hudson, who's an amazing musician from Sumrall, Mississippi. And I wrote a couple of songs with Kerry at a songwriting camp in Mississippi at Clarksdale with Ralph and Kerry. And so Kerry joined in. So we really got the band together the last day of September, last fall. Then very next day, we did our show and we recorded it as an album. We filmed it as a video, and we put that thing out, and it came out on April 18th. So eight of our original songs from the debut album, Stuck in the Mud, right behind me. And then we did 2 covers from some old blues songs that were by a couple of guys from Indianapolis, Indiana, believe it or not. One of them is called How Long Blues. It was written by Leroy Carr and recorded in the 20s. Became one of the first million-selling records in America. And those guys were from Indianapolis, so it was kind of a little bit of a tribute to them. The other guy's Scrapper Blackwell, and we did a Scrapper Blackwell cover of an old Jimmy Cox song called Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out. Just a beautiful song from the Depression.
Now, was you a little nervous because this just happened October 1st to 2024, I think, at the Juke Joint Chapel, which I love that name, and in front of a live audience. I mean, to me, that is like risky or something, just it's
Well,
amazing.
one of the things about kind of my music career is I keep doing stuff I've never done before. And then after I'm done doing it, I find out how hard it was, but I didn't know it going into it. So that's just like really good. Like we went to Muscle Shoals to make a record, and Ralph didn't really tell me what I was getting into. He just said, "Don't worry about it. Show up. I'll tell you what to do." And the same thing really for our live album. I met, like I say, a couple of guys we hadn't played together. So we met the day before. We ran a rehearsal. I said, "Ralph, I don't know how you run a rehearsal." And he was the musical director for Eddie Money in his band. So he's like, "Don't worry about that. You show up, you be there." I brought my bass player, Jerry Murphy from Indianapolis, and a guitar player, John Boyle the third from Indianapolis, who I've played with in bands before. And we all got together as a band with Mark Yakavone and Douglas Banks on drums, Mark on the keyboards. And the day before we all met, we ran through the songs maybe once and a half times, and then we did the show. And for me, performing live is just an absolute joy. I don't get nervous about it. I'm doing it for fun, and there's nothing more fun than doing
The energy really gets you pumped up too from the audience. I know. Now, what type of music did the Juke Joint Chapel have before it was kind of reincarnated here?
Well, what it is an old cotton gin. The actual that Juke Joint Chapel is located on the grounds of a B&B, which they call beer and bed, a bed and breakfast, but it's a B&B. And this place is amazing. They collected up a bunch of old sharecropper shacks and dropped them around a big courtyard. And there's a main building that's the lobby and has some hotel rooms in it. And it's the old cotton gin. So this place was the old Hobson Plantation in Clarksdale, Mississippi, which was a cotton town, big time cotton. So the Shack Up Inn is an old cotton gin. The Juke Joint Chapel is an old cotton gin. So, what kind of music was it? Well, it was whirring and spinning of cotton ginning equipment, I think, 100 years ago. But it's been a blues venue for 20 plus years now. And, Charlie Musselwhite's played there, the North Mississippi All-Stars, John Mayall. I mean, it's Christone Kingfish Ingram, one of the hottest acts in blues music around the world today. They've all played there. And what a joy it was to play at the Juke Joint Chapel. Small little venue, maybe 50, 60 people can fit in there. And we let it rip. We had a lot of cameras. There were probably more cameras in there at times than people could fit in around them. But we had a lot of stuff going on. It was a ton of fun.
And they have a place to stay, which is another name I love, the Shack Up Inn.
The Shack Up Inn. I'm telling everybody, go to the Shack Up Inn. It's tremendous. You will stay literally in an old sharecropper shack. And that's where I really kind of got the blues and got infected by it, was when I went down to that harmonica camp almost 15 years ago, stayed there at the Shack Up. And I've been back many, many times since then. And then, another little kind of quirk about this thing, Jerry, of doing the live album there. I got home from Indianapolis like on October 3rd, I think. We turned around and came home. And I kind of had this gnawing feeling. It's like, darn it, I had the film crew there. Why didn't we film something going on in Clarksdale? Because it's so historic. It's so famous in its role in the blues music. It's really just outside of Clarksdale that the blues was discovered by W.C. Handy in Tutwiler, Mississippi in 1903 at the train station. And I kept thinking, why didn't I just take the film crew and say, follow me around. We're going to show the world Clarksdale, Mississippi, and what the blues is all about here down in the Delta. And a couple of weeks later, I called the filmmaker, Coop Cooper, who filmed our show, and you've seen some of the videos.
Yes.
And he filmed Stuck in the Mud, our original Stuck in the Mud video, which has gotten a bunch of great views on YouTube. And I said, Coop, I want to do a documentary film. He said, what do you want to do it about? I said, Clarksdale. I said, I'm not going to write anything. You're going to follow me around, and you and I are going to make this up as we go. And we did. So on December 28th, I got in a car with Jerry Murphy, who's my bass player here, my wingman from Indianapolis, plays in our band. And we went down and started filming that afternoon at the Shack Up Inn and showed people where we did the show, showed them the Shack Up Inn. We went to Tutwiler. We showed people where the blues was discovered by W.C. Handy. That music was played, in the Delta, but America didn't know the music in the early 1900s. And W.C. Handy was a band leader and a good one and a well-known one. And he took that blues music and made it popular in America. And that all happened right outside of Clarksdale there. And then I take a tour through Clarksdale. You and I were talking a little before the show about I went to the world's only harmonica shop, and I had a custom harmonica made for me. You can see that on the video. So we had a ball. So then, okay, I got a video of the show. I've got the album. I've got a documentary film, and we just released the whole dang thing on Big Radio Records as a big Lollapalooza package of a album, a show, and a documentary film.
Well, you did a great job on that. You've got that radio voice, and you can make a good announcer. And I was watching the video, and we got part of that video here. You getting your harmonica from Deke, and so we got a little part of that because I wanted to add that to this too because it's just classic. I think it's great. And by the way, I don't know who does your website. I'll tell you what, spot on. It is great. It has everything in it, and it's organized. It is fantastic. So anyone, you see the ticker goes through there, go to that website and check it out. And you'll find some merch there too to purchase.
I got to say this, Jerry, the guy who does that, well, he's tough to work with. He's got a bit of an attitude. That's me. I actually do the thing. I do the whole thing. I write it. I design it. See, I'm an advertising guy. So that's right up my alley. And I've had so much fun doing that website. And, I go to artists' websites and I'm like, man, why didn't they put this there? And why didn't they put that there? Well, now I got my own and I can put all of that stuff there. I'm just tickled that you found some stuff in there you liked.
Well, I'm a graphics artist also. I used to have
that's
years
great.
and doing it in advertisement. I did a lot of logos and things, and I noticed little stuff, and I look, and I've looked at a lot of websites, and when I come on yours like that, I said, wow, let's go here and look at this right here. Then I want somebody to go here to look at this right here, and so I got to know your band, I got to know some of the singers, and you do a fantastic job at that, and it really gets out the message. Let's take a look at some pictures.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, who's these guys?
Well, over on the one side playing bass is Jerry Murphy. Jerry is from Indianapolis. I've played with him for 20 years. He kind of has been my mentor. I started singing in this cover band. I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, hey, man, help me. And he did. He helped me a lot. He wrote two of the songs on our record. He wrote Back to Clarksdale, which became a #1 single on the Roots Music Report Blues single charts in the U.S. last year. So Jerry and I wrote that. And he and I also wrote Hard Work Don't Pay, which I'm telling you, it don't pay. And then there's Kerry Hudson, who's a great musician. He was in a band called Blue Mountain, a great Americana band that people love. He's down in Sumrall, Mississippi. There he is playing that beautiful, beautiful guitar. He's a great slide player. He and I wrote 2 songs on the record. We wrote Stuck in the Mud and Soul on the Road. So that's Kerry Hudson there playing the guitar. And we're on the stage there at the Juke Joint Chapel. And man, it's a feast for the eyes. There's a bunch of stuff there you can look at.
Well, even looking at that right there, I want to go there.
I'll meet you there. Okay, that's John Boyle playing the guitar. So on my first record, Kerry Hudson played guitar along with Eric Deaton, who I mentioned was, and then on our live album, there's John Boyle III there on the one side playing guitar. And I played with John in many, many bands over there, a couple of different bands, but many shows over the year. John's an extremely talented guy. He also records and plays as John Boyle. And there's Jerry Murphy on the other side there. Jerry just following me and you around, Jerry.
Exactly. You just can't get away from that name.
I can't. He's a great dude. Oh, man, there's the Brain Trust. I'm talking about those 2 guys on the other side, not me. But that's Ralph Carter there standing sideways in the checkered shirt. Ralph, my producer, dear friend, mentor, convinced me to write music, convinced me to record music. And that's Kerry Hudson. Now, that's the Shack Up Inn. And that building there is a hotel room, sir. You can spend the night there. And it's an incredible experience. So we recorded 3 songs from our original album there at the Shack Up Inn, and we recorded the entire live album there at the Shack Up Inn. So that's in the grounds of the Shack Up Inn there. That's Carrie Hudson, Ralph Carter, and me there having a chat.
You know what would be great? Listen to the blues and then go spend the night in the shack. Oh, that would be great.
It's the best. It's just the best. Oh my. There is the the Dutch songstress Irene Smits. This is her on stage singing backup vocals on Stuck in the Mud. That's me over there going, "What'd you say, Irene?" And there's Jerry behind me. There's John Boyle in the background. But Irene, I met in Clarksdale, Mississippi, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago. She and her husband traveled there from the Netherlands. They're musicians. And like I met them there, and I'm like, "What are you doing here?" They're like, "What do you mean, what are we doing here? We came here to be a part of the blues." I'm like, "What?" They came there and just showed up and didn't have a car, didn't have a job, didn't have anything. They just wanted to be in the blues and be a part of it. And they stayed there for a couple of months. Well, I hung with them for a week or so, and we played music and sat out on the porch there at the Shack Up Inn, and I played harmonica and Tom played guitar, and Irene and I sang, had a great time. So we go down for our live show and recording on October 1st. And I'm Facebook friends with them. They're back in the Netherlands. And
wow.
I remember them saying, "Hey, we're going to come to the U.S. sometime in 2024. Well, just out of the blue, I sent them a note like the day before. And I said, "Hey, you mentioned you're going to be in the U.S. I'm actually in Clarksdale." And I get back here from Irene, "We're in Clarksdale." I said, "You're kidding me." And she said, "Yeah, Tom and I have a show tomorrow night." And I'm like, "Well, we're rehearsing today. Would you be willing to sing and be on my album?" So she buzzed over to the Shack Up Inn. We ran through the rehearsal, and there she is the next day on stage with me and the Tellers, singing backup vocals and lighting up the stage for Stuck in the Mud. And she even had a show that night. So she did this cameo, one song with us, and then she performed that night at Hambones, which is a venue in Clarksdale.
Well, that's great stories here. And this is even more where you can see the Juke Joint Chapel, right?
Yeah, and there's Coop Cooper, the guy who's got his backside facing the camera. I must have shot that. But Coop filmed our original Stuck in the Mud video, also Hard Work Don't Pay, and Soul on the Road. So we did 3 videos, and he was filming that. And you can see he's zooming in on Carrie Hudson playing the slide guitar there. And there's some of the riff-raff and bric-a-brac and you name it that's on the stage there at the Shack Up Inn in the Juke Joint Chapel. Well, there's yours truly. There we are playing the show, the Live in Clarksdale show. That's me. There's Mark Yakavone. I haven't talked about Mark yet. He's on the keyboards. Behind him is John Boyle. And there you see on the drums is Douglas Banks. You got Jerry Murphy back there. And bless his heart, there's Ralph Carter playing some percussion and singing backup vocals on stage. And one thing I want to say about Mark Yakavone is just how talented he is as a keyboard player. He is currently touring the country as a part of Morgan Freeman's Symphonic Blues Experience, which is an incredible thing. They go across the country and they play blues with symphony orchestras, Cincinnati, San Francisco, Chicago, all over the place. And Mark is a part of that group. And then the whole show is narrated by Morgan Freeman, who actually is part owner of the Ground Zero Blues Club there in Clarksdale. So Mark's a tremendous talent, and there he is banging on the keys over there to my right on stage.
You got some great talent there hanging around you.
Wow.
I wanted to get this right here because the Music Center, I mean, it just speaks out to you.
Well, that is not a music. You might think that's a music store. Well, that is a for real juke joint. It's called Reds. And that's me in the video, the documentary film. I'm telling folks about Reds, but I mean, I don't even think there's a window in Reds, but you walk in and you walk into another world. And the world you walk into is the world of the blues. And it is one heck of a place to see the blues live. I mean, it's the guy playing the blues will be 3 or 4 feet from you, and the bar's right behind you. So it's a little narrow shotgun. It's not nearly as wide as that whole building there. It's about half of that, and it's a heck of a place. Very cool place.
Well, I had to ask about that one, and this is part of the gin.
Yeah, man, there is the Juke Joint Chapel. That thing, whatever that thing is, with the rust on the side, that is actually the Juke Joint Chapel. And inside, that's where we're playing, and that's where we played the live show. It stretches on down to the back end of that picture there, and there's some hotel rooms that are built into the end part there of the old cotton gin at the Hobson Plantation.
That is so cool, Lou. It really is. I'm glad they left it more original on the outside anyway. That is so neat.
It's quite a place. Oh, there I am, and there I am in cotton country with the record. That is literally right there, just across the railroad track. Which, I mean, you can't get any more bluesy than that from the shack up in. So that's that right there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, was that cotton right near the cotton?
It is, and you know the funny thing is they leave that out all year. I'm like, well, you ought to harvest that. They're like, people want to do pictures. I'm like, oh, I need to go get one. So they're pretty good at doing a little marketing and advertising too. No, it's great. It's a beautiful place. Ah, look at that. Stuck in the mud. That's the cover there. And that's me there leaning on the shovel. I'm a good shovel leaner. And,
Did you work for the city?
Well, I think I'm qualified there, as you can see. But, you know, it's funny. I had a good friend, Coldo Barrasso. He's from Spain. He did that illustration. You're talking about the graphic arts. And,
yes.
And that type there, that's all hand lettered. Coldo is a beautiful hand lettering artist. And he did the illustration as well. So I get home from somewhere and I'm like telling my wife, hey, I want you to shoot a picture of me and I'm going to send it over to Coldo and he's going to use it as reference to do this illustration. So I said, follow me. We'll go in the basement. We'll just shoot some snaps here. I'll send them over to Coldo. And she shoots about 2 or 3. She goes, okay, here you go. I said, no. We got to get the right expression and the right thing. We shot 3,000. I counted them. 3,000 still shots.
Wow.
And I finally got one where I thought I don't look too much like a dork, and I liked the expression. So that was number probably, I'm sure, 3,000 out of the 3,000 we shot. And I said,
was your wife about ready to throw you out the door there? I mean, $29.99.
Yeah, she. I've worked in advertising, and you're a graphic designer. I mean, graphic design guys don't just know what to draw. They need a reference art. So I'm like, exactly. Hey, we need to give him the exact pose that we want. And so she got a little taste of what my career was like for 35 years of making advertising and art and things like that, it was fun. I had to tell Coldo, he originally did that drawing and he's out in Omaha, Nebraska, and he's from Spain originally. And he kept putting hills and mountains in the background. And I kept flattening them. And I'm like, and he just won't flatten them out. I'm like, Coldo, take a ruler and draw a line. That is the Mississippi Delta. And I think he still thinks I'm lying to him, but that is exactly what it looks like.
It does, yes.
There is no slope. Hey, look, there's the band. That is after we recorded 3 songs from our original album. And Ralph Carter on the left, there's Levi, who's our engineer. There's Jerry Murphy, Kerry Hudson, myself, and Douglas Banks, the drummer. We're standing right in front of the stage there at the Juke Joint Chapel at the Shack Up Inn.
That looked like it'd be that picture looked like it'd be a good album cover.
Oh, that's a good one. You're right. Maybe we need to make another record.
And I had to put this sign on there. I love this.
Well, you're going to enjoy going there too, Jerry. So there you go. Oh, it says "Gentlemen, welcome." I wasn't able to get in, but no, we hang out there. It's a lot of fun. Hey, if you take life seriously, the Shack Up Inn is no place for you to go. It's just a barrel of laughs. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like with liquor and ladies 24/7.
They know how to get guys in there, don't they?
Oh, really? Oh yeah, just thought I was going to take you down memory lane there a little bit, and
Too much fun. I need to go back real soon.
yeah, I'm going to have to go there because after looking at all the pictures and the fun you had there, I said, well, this would just be such a wonderful place to go and spend a little bit of time right there.
It
Uh,
is.
if you don't mind, I want to show a little video that you narrated here with, and it's going to
Sure.
start out, of course, with Deke playing his harmonica here, and I wanted to get this. Let me make sure I get the right one here. Um, there we go. Sometimes my little. Here we go.
Hey, Mr. Advertising Man, I bought your cigarettes. Try to pack, smoked a few. Ain't quit 'em yet, I got the blues. Got them money spent blues. Buy everything you want to sell me from my head down to my shoes. Now give me 15 minutes, baby, then you'll have my full attention. Gonna save 15%, you know I have the right intention. And the blues, goddamn money spent blues.
That's the Delta Deluxe.
Deke, I can't thank you enough. It's fun to be here in Clarksdale with you. Everybody needs to come. We had fun doing our show, and I wanted to show a little about what goes on in Clarksdale to the folks who look at our music.
We sure appreciate you coming to Clarksdale.
All right, man. Love it.
All right.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, so Deke has a harmonica shop. I mean, it is cool. So we just strolled in, and as I told you, I said, "Hey, Coop, follow me. We're going to make a film." And I walked in, and we just kind of ad lib, and I was like, "Hey, Deke, I need a harp." And he's like, "All right, I'll make you one." And off we went. And Deke is what's called a harmonica customizer. So he'll take stock harmonicas and make them into race cars, kind of a thing. So he takes them apart. He works his magic on the reeds. He flattens them out. He does all his special sauce. And that's what he did. Now, Deke was actually playing one of his harmonicas at the end, because sometimes people say, "Ooh, he was playing your harmonica there. Do you stick that in the old machine?" Usually harp players don't share harps too much. So, but that was one of Deke's that he made. And I am the proud owner of a Deke harp harmonica now. I actually have a couple of them I keep in my kit. And we had a ball going to see him. We got the whole thing on the video, so you can watch the whole thing. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, and and when he was talking like, of course, when you went into singing, advertising man, now I know.
Well, that was my song, Money Spent Blues. And that's actually the first song I ever wrote. And I probably wrote it about, 15 years ago. And I'd forgotten about it. I didn't remember that I'd written it until we were in Muscle Shoals. And we were recording. And I think one of the last days we were there, Ralph Carter came downstairs. We stayed in the home there. It's a recording studio home. You sleep there. And he came down for breakfast, and he just looked like he'd seen a ghost. I said, "Ralph, you doing all right?" He goes, "Well, I need to talk to you." I'm like, "Oh, is everything okay at home?" He goes, "Oh, yeah." He said, "Hey, that song we did yesterday, I don't think it's working. I don't even remember what the song was." I said, "Yeah, I kind of feel the same way." He goes, "Look, we got the band here. Let's do a different song." He goes, "I got a song I wrote, and I'm not trying to, creep onto your album or anything, but if we need another song, I've got one here." I said, "Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that other song we were doing was working out real well." So he played it for me. It hit me. I'm like, "Hey, Ralph, I wrote a song a long time ago. It's called Money Spent Blues. And the first lines are, 'Hey, Mr. Advertising Man, I bought your cigarette. Try to pack, smoked a few, ain't quit them yet.' So I got the blues, man. I got the money spent blues." So I showed it to him. I had it on my computer. I happened to have my computer there. I said, well, here's these lyrics. He goes, this is great. So he looked them over for a few minutes, and he gathered the band together there in the studio. And he said, fellas, I got a new song we want to do. He told us how he wanted to do it. He put his own spin and magic on it. And it's been one of the it's gotten a lot of play. It's one of the songs on the album that's quite surprising how popular it's been, because it was really just a last minute thing that we threw together, and we had a ball doing it, man.
So I tell you what, it looks like you're having a great time anyway with anything you're doing. You're laughing and you're cutting it up, and you can see it even when you're playing. You're having a great time. You're having too much fun. It cannot be work if you're having that much fun.
It isn't work. And Jerry, I had a career. I already did all that work hard stuff and raise kids and, work too hard and kind of got burnt out at it. And, maybe I'm so giddy now because I don't have to do that grind, and I get to do this, which, I mean, I can't explain it. I can't explain how much fun it is, how fortunate I've been, how grateful I am. And just things like meeting you, Jerry. I mean, I can't tell you how many wonderful, nice people I've met through this adventure who, take the time to listen to our music and let me talk about it and all that. And seriously, it means the world to me, Jerry. And
that's the fun part on my end. I've just retired about 2 weeks ago. I used to work for an engineer for Xerox Corporation, and retired about 3 weeks now. And I said, let's go give me more time here. I've interviewed like 180 different people, and I learned from each one these great things, how they get careers. I mean, some great stories that if I could write, I would write a book, but you write faster on it.
Well, I don't want you to give up on that idea, because I mean, Jerry, you and I have done enough in our lives. That it all starts with, I feel like I want to, and fill in the blank. I want to make a record. I want to learn to play the harmonica. I want to, and now at the point where you are in your life and where I am in my life, I just don't see too many boundaries. Maybe I'm crazy, but who says we can't do this stuff?
It's right. It's right. And I have people even shocked to, you have a podcast? Yes. My grandfather don't know how to even open his phone.
Well, you were an engineer. You kind of lived my life. I mean, I know that's serious work, and I owned a business, and it was serious work. And now it's like, what? Now it's for fun. And I can tell you enjoy what you're doing to be able to, bring people's stories to your viewers and listeners. And it's quite a thing you're doing too. And I think it's super cool. Keep doing it, man. It's great. I'm glad you got the time to put more into it. Well,
we're going to play Stuck in the Mud. I want to play the whole thing. I love it. And I want people to hear this, and they'll be able to look at the ticker, and they go back and look at this and say, oh, okay, I can go on your website and order this. But I got to let them hear this.
Oh, it's wonderful. Thank you.
And let me get to my, there we go.
I'm rolling.
I'm rolling. I'm doing it. Down here, I'm going broke.
No steps forward, no steps back. Struggle now and have a heart attack. Broken, busted, I don't have a dime. I'm going down slow, Lord, I'm doing my time. After the flood, I'm stuck in the mud. Stuck in the mud.
Stuck in the mud.
I said I'm stuck in the mud.
Said I'm stuck in the mud.
After the flood, I'm stuck in the mud. stuck in the mud. Stuck in the mud.
Stuck in the mud.
I said I'm stuck in the mud.
Said I'm stuck in the mud.
After the flood, I'm stuck in the mud.
All right, Stuck in the Mud. Along with that soundtrack and live show video, the combo CD and DVD sets features a 50-minute all things Clarksville documentary filmed in the Delta and hosted by yours truly, Christopher Wyze. And just all you got to do is just go on the website and it's very, he made it easy for you, believe me. And I tell you, that was good because I think about the Mississippi mud.
Oh,
You know, I think more a pie or cake come from that people around here make sometimes. The Mississippi mud cake.
oh yeah. You know that song. So Carrie is playing guitar there. That's his dog Coco. I mean, we literally recorded that. I mean, Coco was there for the recording session. We had intended to record that song at a recording studio in Clarksdale. I was on my way down from Indianapolis to meet Carrie from Mississippi and Doug from Memphis and do that song. And on the way down, the studio owner called me and said, I got COVID. You guys can't come tomorrow. And it was like, oh my goodness, all heck broke loose. So what we did was I contacted the Shack Up Inn. I knew they had recording equipment there in the Juke Joint Chapel. I was planning on filming it as well. So I said, hey, Coop Cooper, my filmmaker from Clarksdale, plan B, man, we got to record and you got to film at the Shack Up Inn there. So we just made that up. And Coop followed me and Carrie around with the camera, and we found tractors and cotton fields and mud and we did that. And Carrie and I wrote that song. And in fact, Jerry, I told you that we were in Muscle Shoals. We had a song that we were trying to get done, and it just wasn't working. I think it was Stuck in the Mud. And then a few months later, I was in Mississippi at a songwriting camp, and Carrie was there as one of the teachers. And I asked him if he would help me with that song. And so together, he and I kind of remade that song into the Stuck in the Mud that you just heard. And he helped me so much make that song work. I had too many words. The chorus wasn't quite right. And we sat on the same picnic table. I think Ralph and I wrote 8 songs or so at, and remade that into that song right there. And it was such a joy to have him play. He's such a talented guitar player, man. Oh, I love watching him play. That was fun.
Well, our time is running up, and I tell you what, this has been fun. This is one of my best.
Okay, I got one more thing for you, Jerry.
Yes, go ahead.
We just found out, and I don't even know if you know this, but we got nominated for the Best New Artist Debut Album from Blues Blast magazine, their music awards. We just, it started today. The voting started today. And if you go to bluesblastmagazine.com, if people want to listen and vote for all the acts, there's 23 different categories. I mean, we're just fortunate to be in that new artist thing, but bluesblastmagazine.com, I had to throw that in there, but that's just another fun thing that's come down the pike here.
Well, congratulations on being nominated. I can see why you're nominated. I mean, you're great. I'm going to follow you and just to see where this goes from here. I know this guys, you guys are great, and I appreciate you coming on my show and sharing with my audience and stuff. Your career moves, and like I said, somebody can be working 9 to 5, and next thing you know, you're like yourself out having fun singing the blues.
I'm having fun. Great to see you having fun too. I love what you're doing too, Jerry. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you're welcome, and just hang on just a second. I'll put you backstage again, and I'll come back right to you here a second, okay?
Real good.
All right, you've been listening to a great artist here in the band, Christopher Wyze and the Tellers, and now we understand what the Tellers are now. And I tell you what, I want you to be sure to follow look at the ticker down below and go to his website and find out some great things. Well, I'm Jerry McKee, and I'm glad that you got to come with us today on this adventure, and hopefully you'll make it to Clarksdale. And I tell you what, I want to go there. He's already got me convinced I want to go there. I'm Jerry McKee, and have a great, great week. We'll see you next Monday.